Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopijana Vallabha Girivardhari Jaya Gopijana Vallabha Girivardhari Yashodanandana Braj Janaranjana Yashodanandana Braj Janaranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Prabhupada. जय श्री हरिनाम संकीर्तन की जय, श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय, अनंत कोटि वैष्णव भक्त वृंद की जय, जय निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे, हरि हरि बोल। हरे कृष्ण। ओम अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपकदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम्। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनिति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे, निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद, श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। Hare Krishna. Hare Paul. Jaya Jaya Shri Caitanya, Jaya Nityananda. Jaya Dvaita Chandra, Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Jaya Dvaita Chandra, Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Jaya Jaya Shri Caitanya, Jaya Nityananda. Jaya Jaya Shri Caitanya, Jaya Nityananda. Jaya Dvaita Chandra, Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Jaya Dvaita Chandra, Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Jaya Jaya Shri Caitanya, Jaya Nityananda. Jaya Jaya Shri Caitanya, Jaya Nityananda. Jaya Dvaita Chandra, Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Jaya Dvaita Chandra, Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. So, we'll continue on from yesterday. So, Lord Gauranga, he has declared to his devotees that he had a dream. And in that dream, he had seen an amazing personality. And this personality in his dream was on a chariot, and he was asking the whereabouts of Nimai Pandit. Where is the house of Nimai Pandit? So as Lord Gauranga was narrating this dream to his associates, he suddenly went into the mood of Lord Balaram. And as Balaram, he exhibited this royal demeanor. He stood up and his eyes were rolling around, intoxicated in love. And he was loudly asking for Varuni. Lord Chaitanya started shouting, "Bring me Varuni, bring me Varuni." All the devotees were shocked. They had never experienced this profile of Lord Chaitanya before. They looked at each other. What should we do? There is no Varuni in Navadvip. What is Varuni? Where can he get Varuni from? And Lord Gauranga suddenly became very, very agitated. And he started pacing down here and there, pacing up and down. So the devotees, they took a step back. Lord Gauranga looked at no one in particular and he said, "Give me Varuni." So Srivas Thakur, who was there, he went up to Lord Gauranga and he said, "My dear Lord, you are the person who knows what is Varuni. You are the person who is the source of Varuni. And you are the person who can bring Varuni for yourself. So you are the only person who can help us serve you like that." And when Lord Gauranga heard Srivas Thakur's words, he became very ecstatic. He said, "Yes." And then he fell into a trance. And after some time he came to his external consciousness. The devotees did not know what to say. Lord Gauranga said, "I'm so eager to meet that personality of my dreams." And he sent Srivas Thakur and Haridas Thakur to go looking for this personality. They couldn't find the whereabouts of this great personality. So they come back to Lord Gauranga, and they come to Lord Gauranga, and Srivas Thakur says, "Vishwambhar, we couldn't find this great personality." Lord Gauranga, he looked at them and he smiled and he said, "Let us go together and search out this personality." So all of them, they went directly to the house of Nandanacharya. And there, Lord Nityananda, he made his debut in Chaitanya Leela, in Navadvip. Lord Nityananda appeared at the house of Nandanacharya. No one had any idea of Lord Nityananda's presence there. In fact, Lord Nityananda had convinced Nandanacharya that he should not reveal his presence in his house to anyone. There was tumultuous kirtan happening, and Lord Nityananda, he came out of the inner rooms into the courtyard, and his eyes fell on the beautiful form of Sri Gauranga Mahaprabhu. And there was this intense emotion that burst out from his heart. He immediately started crying tears, shivering. He started dancing. And at one point of time, he was so immersed in the thought that finally he was with Sri Gauranga Mahaprabhu. Finally he was with his Supreme Lord. That he swooned. Thinking about his eternal relationship with Lord Nityananda. Gadadhar Pandit was standing right there. He could understand the heart of the Lord. And within his heart, within his mind, Gadadhar Pandit was thinking that this is so amazing. There has always been Lord Anantashesh, who holds Lord Narayan, supports him as his bedstead. He is the support for Lord Narayan as Lord Narayan is lying down in the ocean. But here we see the Supreme Lord being the support of Anantashesh himself. Here Lord Gauranga is holding Anantashesh in his arms. And thinking like this, Gadadhar Pandit was very ecstatic. And Murari Gupta, when he saw the two personalities together, he felt that these two persons, they are so comfortable with each other. It seems that they are meeting each other for the first time, but the intense affection that is being exhibited between these two great personalities, Vishwambhar and Nityananda, this is unprecedented. It's as if they have known each other since ever. And Srivas Thakur, he spoke aloud. He says, this is not surprising that these two personalities have such great affection for each other. It is just like the affection that is between Lord Hari and Lord Shiva. Gadadhar said, I agree with you. It seems exactly that as if Ram and Lakshman have manifested themselves here. Someone else said, they look so beautiful. Being with each other, it appears as if two cupids have appeared simultaneously. Another devotee said, these two personalities being with each other appears as if Krishna and Balaram are together. In this way, the devotees were very happy seeing Lord Chaitanya and Lord Nityananda with each other. And Lord Chaitanya asked Lord Nityananda, where should we celebrate your Vyasa Puja? And Lord Nityananda, he indicated, catching hold of Srivas Thakur's arms, he said, at the house of this Brahmana. Srivas Thakur was so ecstatic. Lord Chaitanya, along with all of the devotees and Sri Nityananda Prabhu, they went from the house of Nandanacharya to the house of Srivas Thakur. And when they entered the courtyard, the devotees, they started singing a very soft, melodious kirtan. And the soft melody of the kirtan was so enchanting that Lord Nityananda started dancing. Lord Gauranga started dancing. And the two brothers, they were so ecstatic and they were so excited, dancing with each other. They would hold each other in their arms, they would embrace each other. Sometimes they would try to touch each other's feet. At other times they would twirl around. Sometimes they would jump into the air simultaneously. In this way, they were happily performing kirtan. Suddenly Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he went into the temple room of Srivas Thakur and he sat on the throne of Lord Vishnu and he said, "Bring me Varuni." The devotees did not know what to say, what to do. And then Lord Gauranga, he looked at Lord Nityananda and he said, "Give me your plough." And he extended his hands. He extended one hand towards Lord Nityananda. And Lord Nityananda, he extended his hand and said, "Here, take it." And Vrindavan Das Thakur writes that only the fortunate souls could see that actually Lord Nityananda was handing a plough to Lord Gauranga. Others were confused. Are the two brothers high-fiving each other? All they could see was their extended arms. And the fortunate few could see this transcendental exchange between the two brothers. With the plough in one hand and his other hand outstretched, demanding Varuni, Lord Gauranga said, "Bring me Varuni, bring me Varuni." The devotees, they did not know what to do. So they got some pots of Ganga water and they handed that pot to Lord Gauranga, who was in the mood of Lord Balaram. And they said, "My dear Lord, here is Varuni." And Lord Gauranga was so happy. He said, "Finally I have my Varuni." And then he took that pot of Ganges water and he started distributing the prasad to every single devotee. Drink, drink Varuni, drink Varuni. And become ecstatic. And then he called for Srivas Thakur and said, "Bring all of your family members and let them have this Varuni." And then he told Srivas Thakur, "Get all of his servants and let them have this Varuni." That was a day of having free Varuni drink at the house of Srivas Thakur. And then Lord Gauranga, he shouted out, "Nara! Nara!" Everyone is, "Who's this? What is he shouting about?" So they asked him, "My dear Lord, who is this Nara?" He said, "You don't know him? He is the person who called out to me and asked me to descend into this material world. He is none other than Advaita. You called me into this material world," he said, looking at Advaita. "You wanted me to descend. You wanted me to inaugurate the congregational chanting of the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, the Sankirtan. Here I am. This Sankirtan is a blessing for all of human society. And I declare that those who are envious of the devotees of the Lord, they shall never receive the mercy of the holy names." And all the rest of the living entities, they will be blessed by the supreme mercy of the holy names of Krishna. And saying this, the Lord started chanting, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. And everyone was amazed to hear the Lord offer his benedictions to all the living entities through the chanting of the holy names of Krishna. Then the Lord started dancing. And after some time, he came back to his external consciousness. He looked very shyly at all the devotees and he said, did I say anything inappropriate? I don't remember what I said or did. Did I cause any offense to any one of you? And the devotees said, my dear Lord, whatever you do is appropriate. There was nothing wrong. And Lord Gauranga, with folded hands, he begged all the devotees to bless him so that he could always remember Krishna. The devotees, they did not know what to say. Here the Lord was exhibiting such extreme humility. The devotees all felt embarrassed. And then Lord Gauranga, he told Lord Nityananda that you should rest now. Tomorrow is a big day. At night, Lord Nityananda roared loudly, calling out for Krishna's names, and somehow in his state of trance, he broke his sannyas danda and he broke his kamandalu. In the morning, Srivas Thakur, he sent his brother Ramai to bring Vishwambhar. He said, go and bring Vishwambhar. We have no idea how we know what should be done. Lord Gauranga, he came there and he saw that Lord Nityananda was very excited. Lord Nityananda was exhibiting such happiness and he was so agitated. Lord Nityananda was saying, bring me Varuni, bring me Varuni. Lord Gauranga embraced him. And then he looked at the broken sannyas danda and Lord Gauranga started laughing. And he said, we should go to the river and take our bath. And he picked up the broken danda and they went to the river. And there Lord Gauranga, he offered the broken sannyas danda of Lord Nityananda to Mother Ganga. Meanwhile, Lord Nityananda, he happened to see a crocodile. He jumped into the river, wanted to catch hold of the crocodile. The poor crocodile was wondering, I was the crocodile here, who is this new crocodile who's coming after me? Lord Gauranga, all the devotees went, hi, 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 hi. Alas, alas, alas. Lord Gauranga, he looked into the direction where the devotees were looking. And there he saw Nityananda Prabhu trying to catch hold of the crocodile. He called out to Lord Nityananda, Nityananda, come back. And immediately Lord Nityananda stopped, turned around, and swam back to the shore. Swam back to the banks of the river Ganga. And he came and he stood silently besides Lord Gauranga. And Lord Gauranga told him, we have to go back for the Vyasa Puja ceremony. And Lord Nityananda said, yes, yes. So they all went back to Srivas Thakur's house. Srivas Thakur had arranged for a beautiful Vyasasana. He had gotten all the paraphernalia together. When he saw Lord Nityananda come, when he saw Lord Gauranga come, when he saw all the devotees come, he welcomed all of them. And since Lord Nityananda was supposed to be worshipped, this was his Vyasa Puja, he wanted Lord Nityananda to first of all offer worship to Vyasadeva, because it is Vyasa Purnima. So he asked Lord Nityananda to come towards him. And then he started explaining to Lord Nityananda all the procedures that had to be followed. And Lord Nityananda, he was listening intently to what Srivas Thakur was telling him. And after a short explanation, Srivas Thakur would say, "All right," and Nityananda Prabhu would say, "Yes, yes." And then Srivas Thakur would explain some other features of the ritual, and he would ask, "Is that all right?" And Nityananda Prabhu would say, "Yes, yes." And then Srivas Thakur would explain something more. It was a long procedure, so he would explain something more. "Do you understand?" And Nityananda Prabhu would say, "Yes, yes." And then Srivas Thakur, he gave him a garland. He said, "You have to take this garland and put it around Vyasadev's picture." Nityananda Prabhu said, "Yes, yes." So Srivas Thakur, he offered Lord Nityananda some achaman, gave him the garland, and Srivas Thakur started chanting the mantras for the rituals. And he would look at Lord Nityananda, and with his head he would nod, "Are you ready?" And Nityananda would say, "Yes, yes." And then Srivas Thakur, he indicated to him, as he was chanting the mantras, he indicated to him, "Hari Om, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna." I mean, that is the mantra I know. And he then indicated to him, "Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare." That please go and offer the garland to Vyasadeva. And Nityananda Prabhu looked at him and he said, "Yes, yes." But he stood right there. So Srivas Thakur went on chanting the mantras, "Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare." And Nityananda Prabhu looked at Srivas Thakur and then he started looking around as if he was searching out for someone. And Srivas Thakur goes, "Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare." And Nityananda Prabhu is looking all around. "Yes, yes, yes, yes." So Srivas Thakur is concerned. He's like, "Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare." Nityananda Prabhu says, "Yes, yes." So all the devotees are a little shocked. Like just yesterday night, he had broken his sannyas danda, so they were not really sure how they should respond. And he had called out for Varuni right in the morning. So the devotees didn't know whether they should approach him or how should they respond in this situation. And Srivas Thakur was really becoming very concerned. He was getting a little agitated because it was time to garland Vyasadeva, and after that the remaining rituals had to be performed. And Nityananda Prabhu was just holding the garland. He was looking around. "Yes, yes." So Lord Gauranga, he saw that there was a situation here. So Lord Gauranga, he walked up to Lord Nityananda and wanting to assist Lord Nityananda, help Lord Nityananda do what is necessary. And as soon as Lord Gauranga, he came in front of Lord Nityananda, who was looking around, who was a little agitated, he became still. He had a beautiful smile on his face, and he took that garland and put it around Lord Gauranga's neck. And all the devotees, they were surprised. Hari Bol! What is this? And as he put the garland around Lord Gauranga's neck, Lord Gauranga revealed to him his six-armed form. His beautiful, divine, transcendental form with 6 arms. In 4 of his arms, he had the symbols of the conch, the disc, the lotus, and the mace. And his remaining 2 arms, he had the plough and the club. When Lord Nityananda, he saw that form, Lord Nityananda was so ecstatic, he was so happy. His entire body started trembling with spiritual emotions. Lord Nityananda was seeing this beautiful divine form that Lord Gauranga had revealed to him. And then Lord Nityananda, he fell unconscious in transcendental ecstasy. As Lord Nityananda fell down unconscious, Lord Gauranga, he encouraged all the devotees to start chanting Hare Krishna loudly. And there was a loud kirtan of the holy names in the courtyard of Srivas Thakur. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Lord Nityananda was lying still on the ground. And as the loud roar of the holy names was filling up the entire sky, Lord Gauranga, he bent down and he put his mouth near Lord Nityananda's ear and he said, Nityananda, this is why you have descended into this material world. You have descended into this material world so that you can spread the congregational chanting of the holy names all over the universe. And you can partake in this congregational chanting. Wake up! Listen to the sound of the holy names. This is why you have appeared in this material world. Lord Nityananda, he did not say Lord Nityananda, he said, Nitai, Nityananda, without your mercy, without your blessings, no one can have the opportunity to feel awakened spiritually while chanting the holy names of Krishna. It is only by your blessings that a fortunate soul can feelingly call out for Krishna while chanting the holy names of Krishna. Open your eyes and look all around you. Look at all of these devotees. Be happy seeing all of these devotees chanting the holy names of the Lord. And when Lord Nityananda had those words enter his ears, he opened his beautiful lotus-like eyes, and his eyes were filled up with tears, and they were intoxicated with Krishna Prem. He stood up and he started dancing. And the kirtan went on and on and on for hours and hours and hours. Srivas Thakur had finished with his rituals and he saw that Everyone was totally immersed in chanting Hare Krishna. The sun set. The moon rose up. And into the beautiful still night, the chanting of the holy names filled up the entire sky. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. And as night fell and the hours passed, sometime late in the night, Lord Gauranga, he turned to Srivas Thakur and he said, Vyasa Puja is over. The ceremony has been performed. Now, bring all the offerings of prasad. And Srivas Thakur very happily, he brought all the offerings that they had offered to Srila Vyasadeva. All the offerings that had been made for Lord Nityananda's pleasure. All those offerings were brought to Lord Gauranga, and Lord Gauranga personally distributed prasad to all the devotees. This was the transcendental prasad of the ceremony where Lord Nityananda had been worshipped. Lord Gauranga was so happy with Srivas Thakur. He said, Srivas Thakur, you have such faith in Lord Nityananda. You have such love and affection for Lord Nityananda. Srivas Thakur, every single person in your household, your family members, servants, even visitors, because you have served Lord Nityananda so well, every single member of your house is blessed to have love of Godhead, including the dogs and cats and other domestic animals in your house. Even they shall have love of Godhead because you have worshipped Lord Nityananda with so much affection. Srivas Thakur was grateful to Lord Chaitanya. Now that Lord Nityananda and Lord Gauranga were both in Navadvip, Lord Gauranga, he called for all the devotees, including Srivas Thakur, and he said, during the day we chant Hare Krishna, but at night we go back to our houses and we simply eat and sleep. That is not, it isn't all right. So what would you have happen? Lord Gauranga said, I think we should come together at night and do kirtan. Where shall we do the kirtan? Where shall we gather together? He said, Srivas's house, Srivas's courtyard. Since then, all the devotees, they would come together at sunset. And the doors to the outer walls would be locked from inside. And the courtyard would be filled up with hundreds of devotees. Each of these devotees had intense affection, love, and deep faith in both Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Sri Nityananda Prabhu. Anyone who would not have such an intense relationship with Lord Gauranga or Nityananda Prabhu would not be allowed into the evening kirtans in Srivasa's angan, in Srivasa's courtyard. One evening, as the kirtan was very tumultuous and everyone was so ecstatic and so happy, Lord Gauranga, he walked into the temple room of Srivas Thakur and he climbed up the steps of his altar, and there was a throne of Lord Vishnu on which Srivas Thakur would worship his Shaligram Shilas. And Lord Gauranga, he picked up all of the Shaligram Shilas and he sat down on the throne of Lord Vishnu, and he kept all of the Shaligram Shilas in his lap, and he told all of the devotees, worship me. And he revealed his divine form as the Supreme Lord. He revealed his mood as the Supreme Lord. Typically, Lord Gauranga would always reveal the mood of a devotee. And if by chance someone would say, my dear Lord, you're the Supreme, Lord Gauranga would cover up his ears and would say, Vishnu, Vishnu. A living entity can never be the Supreme. So the devotees had this intense pain in their hearts where they wanted to worship the Lord as the Supreme Lord of all, where they wanted to worship Vishwambar, the person they loved so much, who was their very life and soul. They wanted to worship him, but he would always say that no, I'm just an insignificant living entity. So on this particular evening, when they saw Lord Gauranga sitting on the throne of Lord Vishnu in the temple room of Srivas Thakur, all the devotees, their heart's desire of so many days and weeks had been fulfilled. They came and they started glorifying Lord Gauranga. And Lord Gauranga accepted all of the offerings of their heart. The devotees remembered that beautiful incident of Lord Gauranga sitting on the throne of Lord Vishnu with the Shaligram Shilas in his lap for many days to come. One evening in the house of Srivas Thakur, great devotees like Murari Gupta, Vakreshwar Pandit, Advaita Acharya, Nityananda Prabhu, Chandrasekhar, Murari, Shuklambar, all of these devotees of Navadvip, when they had gathered at the house of Srivas Thakur, and they were having this intense kirtan, Lord Gauranga, he sat on the throne of Lord Vishnu and he said, worship me, perform my abhishek. The devotees were so excited. Supreme Lord was asking them, he was ordering them to worship him and perform his abhishek ceremony. Immediately, hundreds upon hundreds of devotees excitedly, they put a plan into action. Hundreds of devotees, they formed a human chain to the river Ganga. Thousands of pots manifested from somewhere. These were empty pots. And with these empty pots, they collected the water of the river Ganga and they handed it down through this human chain till it reached the courtyard of Srivas Thakur. And then, one by one, every devotee was given a chance to perform the Abhishek of Lord Chaitanya. This Abhishek and the beautiful ceremony involved therein, when Lord Gauranga was accepting the worship of all of the devotees, it went on for 21 hours. And at the end of it, every single devotee felt that their life had been fulfilled. Their life's goal had been achieved. This is called as the Sapt Prahariya Leela of Lord Chaitanya. For 7 praharas, each prahara, one prahara, is roughly about 3 hours. So 21 hours, Lord Chaitanya was sitting on the throne of Lord Vishnu in the temple room of Srivas Thakur, and pots upon pots of Ganga water was being poured over his transcendental head, and it was bathing the transcendental body of Lord Chaitanya. And devotees were ecstatic, they were crying, they were laughing, they were with tears in their eyes, they were embracing each other, they were falling down unconscious. And during this particular ceremony, Lord Gauranga gave his mercy to many, many devotees. He gave his mercy to Srivas Thakur. He gave his mercy to Murari. He gave his mercy to Sridhar Kolavich. He gave his mercy to Mukunda. When all the devotees were completely satisfied worshipping the Lord of their hearts, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Sri Gauranga Mahaprabhu, Lord Gauranga called for Srivas and he said, "Who is that lady?" Srivas looked over and he said, "Oh, she works for us. She's a maid here." "What is her name?" "Oh, she goes by the name of Dukhi." Dukhi means sadness, one who's sad. So she goes by the name of Dukhi. Lord Gauranga said, "She is not Dukhi, she is Sukhi. She is bliss personified." And everyone goes, "Hari Bol, Hari Bol." The devotees wanted to know what was the mystery. And the author reveals that Lord Chaitanya had noticed how this lady had, in a very humble way, served all the devotees as they were performing the Abhishek of Lord Chaitanya. What would happen was, when the devotees would pour the Ganga water from the pots over Lord Chaitanya, in their excitement, they would just leave the empty pot somewhere around. And within moments, there were dozens of empty pots lying around. And since the devotees were completely immersed, engrossed, and unaware of their surroundings, these pots presented a health hazard. The devotees could knock themselves against the pots and they could fall and hurt themselves. In fact, some of them could fall on the pots could crack. And these cracked pieces could cut their bodies. could harm them. So what this lady who was working as a maid in the house of Srivas Thakur, what she did was, she unknown and unnoticed by everyone in that audience, in that assembly, completely unnoticed. For all the time that the pots were there, she would pick up those empty pots and put it out of the way of the devotees. She would keep it some distance away so that the devotees would not get hurt falling over those pots. No one noticed her. And how could they notice her? Because their eyes were glued to the transcendental form of Lord Gauranga. And her intention was to serve the devotees so that the devotees' service to Lord Gauranga could be facilitated. Lord Chaitanya was so happy with her that she had understood and imbibed the cardinal principle of Krishna consciousness, that to serve Krishna must try and serve the devotee who is very dear to Krishna. And when we serve a devotee that is very dear to Krishna, and Krishna becomes more pleased than when he is directly being served. So Lord Chaitanya, he blessed her by declaring, she shall no longer be Dukhi, she shall be called Sukhi. Instant Diksha. New name, Sukhi Devi Dasi. One of the first initiations given by Lord Chaitanya. She shall not be known as Dukhi, but Sukhi henceforward. Such is the mercy of Lord Gauranga. Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur Maharaj would hence appeal to all of us by saying, don't try to see Krishna. Serve Krishna in such a way that Krishna wants to see you. And here, Lord Gauranga saw what everyone else could not see. He saw how this maid in the house of Srivas Thakur was serving and facilitating the service of all the devotees. One day, the mother-in-law of Srivas Thakur, she was visiting him. The mother of his wife, Malini Devi, she was visiting them. And she mentioned to her daughter that I would really want to see the beautiful kirtan pastimes of Lord Gauranga. Malini Devi, she was in a fix. This was her mother, and she did not really have the heart to tell her that this kirtan is only by special invite. Only those whose hearts are completely erupting with the desire to serve Krishna, whose hearts have this intense desire to serve Krishna, only those people would be allowed into this kirtan in the house of Srivas Thakur. So she brought up this subject to her husband, and Srivas said, she doesn't qualify. You know that Lord Gauranga would not be happy if we have an unqualified person in the kirtan. But she was really very, very eager to be participating in that kirtan. Somehow she convinced her daughter, and together they convinced Srivas Thakur, and somehow Srivas Thakur got convinced that she could stay in a hiding place, and from there she could watch the beautiful dance of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu as the kirtan would be performed throughout the night. She was more than happy to stay in her hiding place. So when the time came, she was brought to the hiding place and she quietly sat there with a prayer in her heart and gratitude. A prayer that please, 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 Lord Gauranga, let me have this beautiful darshan of you dancing in kirtan. And she was grateful that she had this opportunity. Kirtan started. All the devotees are very ecstatic and happy. And after some time, Lord Gauranga started dancing. And the devotees were so excited seeing him dance. They had seen him dance a single evening, but every time they watched Lord Gauranga dance, it was a new experience. It was a novel experience. It was so attractive. The devotees were completely mesmerized. And as Lord Gauranga danced, and he twirled around, and he jumped in the air, and he loudly called out for Krishna, and all the devotees chanting the holy names, suddenly Lord Gauranga stopped. And he said, today I don't feel the bliss while doing kirtan. And all the devotees, they were a little surprised. They looked around. They did not know what to say, how to respond. And Lord Chaitanya said, is there somebody here in this courtyard who does not belong here? And none of the devotees knew about any new member, so they just looked around like, no, it's the same people here. Lord Chaitanya said, there is someone here who's not qualified to be in this kirtan. Srivas Thakur, when he heard that Lord Chaitanya had stopped performing kirtan, he had stopped dancing, and Lord Chaitanya was not feeling happy, Lord Gauranga was not feeling happy, he immediately went to the hiding place of his mother-in-law and very respectfully he asked her to leave. He booked an online ticket for her immediately back to her place, and he asked his servant and his car to drop her. He immediately asked her to leave. And then he came back and he said, my dear Lord, there is no one here who is not qualified to be here. And Lord Gauranga smiled at him, and then he asked all the devotees to start kirtan again. And as the devotees started chanting the holy names of Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Supreme Personality of Godhead, along with Sri Nityananda Prabhu, Sri Gaura Nitai, they danced and they danced and they danced throughout the night. So this is another pastime that happened in the house of Srivas Thakur at Srivas Angan, where the words of the scriptures are proven true. The only qualification that one needs to be able to worship Krishna and to chant the holy names of Krishna is intense desire and sincerity. The mother-in-law of Srivas Thakur was a very nice person. However, through this pastime, the Lord Chaitanya has revealed to the world that even if one is connected through bodily relationship to a devotee, unless and until one is qualified through purification of the heart, through purification of one's consciousness, one is not eligible to receive the mercy of Lord Chaitanya in the form of participating in the beautiful kirtan pastimes of Lord Shri Gauranga Mahaprabhu. Jai Shri Shri Radha Nila Madhav Bhagwan Ki Jai. So these are some of the pastimes that happened in the courtyard of Srivas Thakur. There are much more, and some of those other pastimes in relationship to Srivas Thakur we shall discuss next week. So we'll stop here. Any questions or any reflections? Any comments?
Very nice class too. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Hare Krishna. Yes, Radha Krishna.
But the very idea of Lordship's appearing in the form of Chaitanya and Nityananda is to give mercy to whether they are coming everybody, irrespective of qualification, right? But why in this particular instance? Because Jagamata themselves got initiated and finally, delivered. Why in this instance that lady was asked to?
So the question being asked is that Lord Gauranga is the most magnificent incarnation of Godhead, and his appearance along with Lord Nityananda is to save those conditioned souls who are specially unqualified to practice any form of devotional service. So how is it that the mother-in-law of Srivas Thakur did not have that opportunity? Lord Chaitanya's pastimes, since his birth, through his growing up into a young scholar, taking sannyas, and then traveling over parts of India and finally disappearing, reveal various aspects of the Lord's qualities, or they reveal various aspects of the Lord performing his pastimes in so many, having so many different flavors. So when Lord Chaitanya, he started off this congregational chanting in the house of Srivas Thakur, at that point of time, it was a closed affair. And this was where the devotees were relishing the mood of very intense kirtan in the association of very advanced souls. So that is one type of kirtan that happens, where the intensity is very, or where the mood is very, very intense. And after some time, about a year after this, Lord Chaitanya, he exhibits his mood of being Mahavadanyaya. Right now, through this few months of kirtan behind closed doors, he was exhibiting the mood of a person who had just received Krishna's mercy, as a devotee who had just come transformed as a devotee of Krishna, who's feeling separation from Krishna and is crying out to Krishna, wanting to seek the mercy of Krishna, the presence of Krishna through the chanting of the holy names of Krishna. So that mood is revealed through the Sankirtan at Srivas Angan. A devotee whose heart has been transformed, and there is this deep hunger, this intense desire to be united with Krishna, because one feels this intense separation from Krishna. Then, as I said, there are various phases or various aspects of Lord Chaitanya's he performing his pastimes or his activities throughout his life. So after 1 year of doing that, Lord Chaitanya, he brought all of his devotees outside onto the streets. And since then, this opportunity to participate in Harinam Sankirtan, this open congregational chanting of the holy names of Krishna, since then it has been going on. That Sankirtan would happen even when Lord Chaitanya was on this planet and after too. Okay?
One more devotee.
Okay.
In this last one.
Can we say that the house of Srivas Thakur is where Chaitanya's movement officially started? So this is a question asked by a devotee online. Can we say that? I'm not sure whether we can say that or whether I can say that this is where it officially started. The reason being that none of the previous acharyas have kind of explained it in that way. None of the previous acharyas have said that this is where it all started. Somehow, within our Vaishnava tradition and the Vedic tradition, we are not so very concerned about chronology or dates. Somehow that's been the way things have been described. So the street Sankirtan, as we do, when we go outside on the streets, that started off from the house of Chandakazi. For the first time, hundreds of devotees came onto the streets with drums, with mridanga, with cymbals, kartals, and torches too. And they were arranged in groups, and there was this Maha Nagar Sankirtan. The first time Lord Chaitanya exhibited his mood as a devotee who was chanting the holy names of Krishna was in Gaya. The first time Lord Chaitanya exhibited the mood of intense separation along with the assembly of devotees who had a similar mood of a similar intensity and similar mood of separation, feeling separation from Krishna, was at Srivas Angan. So I feel a little incapable of putting a date and a time to when Lord Chaitanya started off the Sankirtan movement. So maybe we can just relish that how the various formats of Kirtan and the various moods that Lord Chaitanya exhibited, they have their individual flavors. In Jagannath Puri, Lord Chaitanya would exhibit this mood of street Kirtan during the Rath Yatra pastimes. So, in Chaitanya Leela, we see that the Lord's mood, it has various flavors, and that is exhibited in different ways. So is that all? Any other questions?
No questions from there.
Okay. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Shri Gauranga Mahaprabhu ki jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnav Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. Hare Krishna.